Hello everyone and welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be talking about difference of squares and perfect square trinomials. So similar to the problems you see up on the screen here. Just a reminder, this is the speedrun version where we go through pretty quickly. If you want the normal version, I'll link that in the description below. For your Ricasso Recap, you should already know how to do factoring by grouping. If you want to refresh on this, I'll link a video in the description. Please go watch that before you start this lesson. All right, new lesson starts now. Here we go. So we've been following this list. Step 1, is it in standard form? Yes. Again, we should already know this from the previous lesson. Step 2, is there a greatest common factor? There is not, so step 2 is done. All right, now we look at how many terms are there. Well, there are 2 terms, so we're looking at 2 terms, which means we're going to check for difference of squares. So difference in math just means subtraction, so that's why I see a subtraction symbol in the middle. All right, squares, we're talking about perfect squares here. So perfect squares come from like 1 times 1 equals 1, 2 times 2 equals 4, 3 times 3 equals 9. And we could keep going down the list. So here's all the way up to 15. And these numbers that we get when we multiply are the perfect squares, right? So these are our list of perfect squares, 1, 4, 9, 16, yada, yada, yada. So what you notice is that 16 is a perfect square. It's on the list right here. And 25 is on the list. This is also a perfect square. And then u squared is just u times u. So now, when you have a difference of perfect squares, right? A subtraction with 2 perfect squares on the left and right, this can factor and will always factor into this form. We're going to get 2 parentheses. One will have a plus in the middle. One will have a minus in the middle. And now we ask, what is 16 broken down into its perfect squares, or what is the square root of 16? Well, you can go to your list here. It's 4, right? It's 4, and it's 4u on both. And then 25, the square root of 25 broken down is 5 and 5. And it will always factor like this. Something plus, something minus. For this problem, is it in standard form? Check. Is there a greatest common factor? No. All right, but now we have 3 terms, right? So with 3 terms, we're going to check to see, is it a perfect square trinomial? And so we were just talking about perfect squares a second ago. You'll notice 4 is a perfect square, 25 is a perfect square, right? It was on that list that we just made. And so the other part for a perfect square trinomial that you have to check. So this will break into 2n, 2n. This will break into 5 and 5. And then the question is, does the middle, is 20n, is it 2 times one of these, 2n, and one of these? So is 20n equal to 2, it's always 2, times one of each pair? And the answer is yes, right? If I multiply those numbers, I get 20n. So this is a perfect square trinomial. If it's a perfect square trinomial, we can always follow this formula. It will break down into 2n plus 5 and 2n plus 5. Notice that I'm taking, which can be rewritten an easier way, 2n plus 5 squared. The reason that there is a plus sign here, plus sign, plus sign, plus sign, all of these plus signs, let's clean this up a little bit. There we go. All of these plus signs come from this plus sign right here. If this had been a minus, then your answer would have been 2n minus 5, 2n minus 5. Okay, so that symbol there determines whether your parentheses have a plus or minus sign. All right, here's our cool clock for today, which means that it's time for you to practice what you just learned. Go ahead and pause the video and try these 2 problems on your own. And when you're ready, you can unpause the video and we'll check your answers. Okay, now they've had time to work these problems, let's check your solutions. Okay, for the first problem, hopefully remembered, right? If you go back to your steps, step 2, greatest common factor. So hopefully you said, oh, I can factor a 2 out of both of those. So you factor the 2 out, and then it becomes, this is now a difference of squares. So here is our final answer. And for the second problem, this is a perfect square trinomial with a minus sign. So here my answer has the minus sign. You could put it either way, h minus 4 and h minus 4, or you could put h minus 4 squared. All right, that's it for today. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.